Good morning, it's Sunday morning, or coming up on Sunday lunchtime now. What have we done this morning? I've just been doing a Charlie Makesy draw-a-thon thing, where he filmed from yesterday. He did a thingy at the Royal Albert Hall of drawing a picture of the Royal Albert Hall. I'm not going to show it to you because I frankly think mine looks rubbish. I might have another go at it later on. It's quite hard. It's so clever. I'm really kind of impressed by artists who just make things look so easy, and it's not as easy. Otherwise, we'd all do it. So here we are on Sunday morning. I've got Squirtle with me, and we've chosen some lovely books again. This is the last that we've done all the crayons books, haven't we? Barring this one. So we're jumping forward 6 months, and we're heading for Christmas on this one. So we got the Crayons Christmas.
This one's a bit like, so it's got like stuff in like envelopes and stuff.
Yeah.
It's got stuff inside.
And this is a new one on me. I think Mummy's read this to you. I don't think
Yeah.
I've ever kind of like read it, so that'll be fun. So I've got to do loads of voices for that one, I guess, haven't I?
Yeah.
Do lots of voices.
Not loads, was it?
Then we've got we've had a fair few Jim Field ones. We've had all of the Oi Dogs and Oi Frogs and whatever. That's all Jim Field. But we've had a few Jim Fields over the weeks. We were going to do the Lion Inside as well at some point as well, weren't we? That was his other one.
Yeah,
So we'll
when I was choosing this, I looked at that one, but then I thought like, why this one? Because this is a nice one. Like,
yeah, well, we'll do that another weekend. The Squirrels Who Squabbled, so that's fun. And that takes place in autumn. We've got lots of kind of all sorts of seasons going on. We've got autumn happening here. We've got Christmas happening in this one, and then we had a lovely story the other week called A Little Bit of Winter, which was a kind of like when we did the snowy weekend. So we're going to do another Rabbit and Hedgehog one. I think we're going to do the birthday presents, aren't we?
Yeah.
So we got a Christmas book, we got an autumn book, and we got a birthday book. Right. Okay. So what's the order we're doing?
That one.
Okay. Starting with Christmas. Hope it's a lovely day where you are. It's lovely and sunny here. Still a bit of a wind, but it's lovely and sunny. Right. The Crayons Christmas. So again, anybody who knows us knows we're big fans of Oliver Jeffers, but this one's pictures by him, but a gentleman called Drew Daywalt. Actually, Drew Daywalt did the Stone Paper Scissors. We'll have to do Stone Paper Scissors maybe next weekend.
Yeah.
That one, or the Legend of Snow Paper Scissors, isn't it? Right. The Crayons Christmas. I thought we talked about this. One snowy December day, Duncan was making Christmas cards with his crayons when the postman brought a letter. Only it wasn't for him. From Mum and Dad to Peach Crayon, flat 4 of the crayon box, Duncan's room on the bookshelf next to the weird pen holder. Is he talking about the Pen Hotel? You can probably feel how windy it is. Crikey, it's windy, isn't it? You alright out here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So let's open this up and see what we've got in here. So we've got, oh, Peachy Pie, you always were my shy one, so I've sent you some clothes. Now you can give Duncan back his underwear. Have fun dressing up my naked baby, and Merry Christmas. Love, Mum. So Mum has sent some clothes for the crayon, and so kind of like there's, I don't know, what would you call that? It's just a sort of snow outfit, isn't it? A Christmassy snow outfit.
Yeah. And then
That's a diver's one.
yeah. Christmas jumper.
A kind of a
Bikini.
bikini, Christmas jumper.
Dressed up as a chef.
A chef or a Father Christmas or a kind of magician, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or what's that down there? Oh, that's part of the chef one, is it? That's like an apron, I guess, isn't it? Cool. Oh, I like this. Yeah, this is a bit like the Jolly Postman book.
Yeah.
Duncan and his crayons spent the day playing in the snow. I think the snowman's nose should be a banana. I don't care at all what you think. It's a dodgy joke, isn't it? Oh, that's the ones where they kind of melted together, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When they were both arguing over who was the colour of the sun. Feeling snowed out, but suddenly very Christmassy, the Crayons headed inside to warm up and get out the decorations. Christmas stuff.
I think.
So what have we got in here?
Like so realistic.
Alright, so yeah, no, that's clever, isn't it? That makes it look like it's that clever. Right, so what have we got in here? Oh, so it's kind of like lots of kind of decorations
Christmas
you
stuff.
could hang on the trees. There's silver crayon. Oh no, I've lost my hooky thing. All our decorations, we use the hooky things as well. So we've got a candy cane. I guess that's an elf, is it?
Yeah, alien elf.
Is it? Yeah. And oh yeah, that one's. I've lost my bauble. I've lost my hooky thing. So yeah, they need to be paired up. Those two things. Yeah, a couple of baubles and a space rocket. Oh, that's the space rocket from The Way to Get Home and How to Catch a Star. Hello, Millie. You can probably hear Millie in the background. Millie the cat. Should we give him a Scottish accent?
Yeah, okay.
You know I'm candy, right, Duncan? And you know you're supposed to eat candy, right? Because last time I checked, people didn't hang candy on the tree. 10 years in a row. I'm older than you are, kiddo. Now will someone please eat me and end this madness? Free at last. I was in there a whole year.
Why would he want to be eaten?
No, yeah. It's very odd. The next day, as Duncan and the Crayons decorated the house, they heard a knock on the door. Can I please not be on the back of the tree facing the wall this year? Ooh, look at me, I'm a stocking. Oh, brother, I wish I'd melted to an underwear instead. Alright, doesn't like being kind of melted to socks. It was the postman with another letter, and this one was addressed to Beige Crayon. So Beige Crayon, the crayon box, top of the bookshelf, Duncan's room. What have we got here? Hello, Beige, my dear boy. I heard you're allergic to gluten now from colouring in all that wheat. But don't worry, I'm sending you my world-famous and top-secret gluten-free Christmas cookies and hot cocoa recipe. Merry Christmas and lots of love. Dad. Oh, here we go. Dad's world-famous top-secret gluten-free Christmas cookies and hot cocoa recipe. Step 1. Go to the shop and buy gluten-free cookies. Step 2. Also get hot cocoa powder. 3. Follow the instructions on the hot cocoa jar. Step 4. Add too much milk so it's a nice beigey colour. Maybe add a marshmallow. Step 5. Eat the cookies with the hot cocoa. The best step of all. That's not really a recipe, is it? That's just going out to the shops and buying some. And then making it. It's not really that's my kind of recipe. And you know what? The next night they made Beige Dad's world famous top secret gluten-free Christmas cookies and hot cocoa. And one marshmallow. Feel that stress just melt away. Just as they set out the cookies and cocoa, another letter came in the mail. This one was from Grey Crayon, who was away visiting his family.
Yeah, because he did have like his head.
Oh yes, you're right. He did
Yeah.
in the last one. Have you ever put one of those candy canes in a?
No.
Me and Mummy used to buy actually before you were born. Actually, there was a shop in Bath that used to sell different flavour candy canes near Christmas that you could use as a kind of a stirrer in hot chocolate, and they would gradually melt. They were delish. Right, so who was this Green Crayon? Was it Duncan's Grey
yeah.
Crayon? Grey Crayon. So what's he been sent? I guess are these all been sent from their mums and dads?
Oh, I think this is a game.
Oh, Happy Hanukkah. Right. Okay. So that's
Wait.
kind of like
That's a game. That's
Yeah.
the dice for the game.
That's a Hanukkah lamp. Hey Duncan, sorry I won't be able to make it home this year. I'm celebrating Hanukkah with my family. If I don't, I always get a little sad and grey around the holidays. Get it? A little grey because oh, never mind. Anyway, here's a dreidel. Happy spinning, Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah. Grey Crayon. So a dreidel. Can you remember the word dreidel? That was in the Nutcracker. If you can remember, kind of like
Oh,
yeah. where I can't remember the name of the girl, but she had
That's
to
a
come.
dice for the game.
Oh, I see. So it's a kind of like one of those a spinny thing, right? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it says, say, hey, nurse Shin Gimel. I don't know. They're probably kind of like Hanukkah words that I'm not kind of like particularly familiar with. So it's so dizzy. Oh boy. It's a beautiful book, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is more than just a book, really. After such a great present from Gray, the Crayons remembered they had some presents of their own to wrap. Does it say, "Oh man, you win again. I don't know how you do it. A work of art, a triumph, a masterpiece. My greatest work yet." Oh, that's the sellotape thing.
I
Yes.
love how like everything has a face.
Oh, that's pretty.
Like the
There's-
scissors
there's
has a
my
face,
favourite
the
crayon.
wrapping paper
Oh
has
yeah,
a face.
even the sellotape's got a face. Yeah,
And the scissors.
yeah. Deck the halls with lots of crayons, fa la 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 la. With the presents all wrapped, it was time to go carol singing. And there's the one with the sharpener on his head. Just as the crayons came home from carol singing, the postman delivered a big package for Chunky Toddler Crayon. "Ooh, I ordered this Christmas gift online. That's how it works, right? You order gifts for yourself. It's not... oh, sorry. Well, the good news is that we can all play with it. Open it and see." Crayon Express. It's a Chunky Toddler Crayon. Oh, this is very thick, whatever it is. So it says, "The Great Crayon Holiday Race. The simple goal is to get from start to finish. You roll a 6-sided dice and move a counter that number of spaces, and you land on a special space. You follow the directions on the space and move your piece accordingly." So it's a board game, is it?
Yeah, and the dice was for the game.
Ah, I see. The Great Crayon Holiday Race.
Yeah, there's the green.
Ah, right. Okay, with Esteban. Right. Okay. Ah, clever that. So head melts to underwear. Doorknob trouble, lose a turn, colour outside the lines, move ahead 2 spaces. That's clever. That's clever. I like the way that they kind of like these look like boxes. Clever, isn't it? What a clever book. Finally, it was Christmas Eve and time for the big Christmas play. After the play, at the end of the night, there was a package waiting for them at the front door from the North Pole, but it wasn't from Santa. Ah, from Esteban. From Esteban. Was it a letter? Oh, no, oh, it's from his kind of like a...
Yeah, map in.
Oh, I ordered you a map the other day to
map
colour,
what?
a colour in, a world map to colour in.
A world tour map.
Ah, our world tour. So it's kind of like, "Hey Duncan, remember how I always wanted to see the world? And you know how Neon Red, a total expert, well, Neon Red has been taking me everywhere. Here's a map we made on our trip. We were hoping to get back before Christmas, but sadly we can't because we're helping this old guy light his sleigh to deliver gifts to some kids who knows or what he knows or whatever. Merry Christmas from far, far away. Love, Esteban the Magnificent." And Neon Red, also pretty magnificent. So there's the pyramids, which he thought were in Newcastle. Sydney Opera House, which isn't in North America. Sydney Opera House is in Australia. A Statue of Liberty, which is not over there.
The
Statue
South
of
Pole?
Liberty's over here.
The South Pole is in
The
Europe.
pyramids are down here. The Great Wall of China is not in Africa. That's over
The
here.
South Pole is not in
The
Europe.
South Pole is not. Well, yeah, no, that's at least closer. The Eiffel Tower is not in South America. It's in France over here. Oh, he's way off with his. You know better than him. You know better than him where things are. Duncan was happy that his crayons had received such wonderful gifts. All he had were letters from Gray, Esteban and Neon Red saying they wouldn't be home for Christmas, and that made him sad, and no one in the world noticed or cared. Except for the crayons. In this season of giving, they decided to give back to the boy who'd always given them love, respect and even a home. It's, "I love not being naked anymore.
He's under
Like a
now.
Merry Christmas. It's a Christmas miracle. God bless us, everyone." There's a little tiny Tim crayon. Oh, yay! Finally. Oh, he's pleased he's being eaten. That's clever. I like that. That's a very clever book. Right, which one next?
I don't really mind.
Should we do Squirrels Who Squabbled?
Yeah.
Squirrels Who Squabbled. Do you want an accent for this?
I don't mind.
Okay. In a towering forest where summer had been, the cool air bit fresh and the mosses grew green, and as autumn edged in and the sky raged red, the sleepiest creatures got ready for bed, while up in a tree swung a flighty young squirrel who everyone knew as Spontaneous Cyril. Now, most foresty folk had seen to their needs through the plentiful months of mushrooms and seeds. They'd built up their stores so they'd all be well fed through the frosting of winter that glittered ahead. But Cyril, he lived in the now and the here. He'd adventured and partied his way through the year. So his cupboard was empty, his hollow was bare. He hadn't a mouthful of food anywhere. But wait, what was that over there? Take a look. A single lone pine cone wedged in a nook. He squealed with delight, and for very good reason, for inside were the very last nuts of the season.
I don't think that's true.
Is that nice colours? You don't think that's true?
There's nuts inside a pine cone.
Oh, well, yeah, kind of, yeah, sort of is, isn't it? But Cyril wasn't alone. There were more hungry eyes. Yes, plan ahead Bruce had his sights on the prize. Though he'd gathered a mountain of bounty hard fought, Bruce was convinced he was one pine cone short. I simply must have it, he wistfully cried, as he dreamt of the fresh, juicy pine nuts inside. I guess, yeah, no, there is pine nuts inside a pine cone. That's where I guess that's where you get pine nuts from. So as Cyril set off on his way to the ground, Bruce, he was also at last pine cone bound. They sprinted and scurried with no time to gamble. They scratched at the bark in their scampering scramble. But their panic and haste shook the tips of the spruce, and the pine cone, it trembled, and then it came loose. Both squirrels gave chase at a lightning pace. This was the start of a wild, nutty race. "It's mine!" shouted Cyril. "No, mine!" hollered Bruce. "You don't stand a chance." "Give up, it's no use." "I'm hungry," cried Cyril. This cone is not yours." "Stay back," shouted Bruce. "This cone's from my stores." It boinged over bushes and flew through the air. It binged on the nose of a slumbering bear. It bounced over boulders, then came to a stop, then teetered and wobbled and quivered and
Dropped, I think.
plop. I was going to say, we knew it was going to be an op word. You went for drop and it was plop. Both squirrels followed. Oh, the water was fast. Would they learn that they needed each other at last? But each was intent on how he could win, so they didn't quite notice a bird sweeping in. Cyril and Bruce, they watched in dismay as their cone disappeared up, up and away. "Come back," shouted Cyril. "There are nuts," exclaimed Bruce. But all hope was gone. It was simply no use. And meanwhile they drifted right up to the ledge. Greed, it was driving them over the edge. Cyril and Bruce, they'd taken a fall. They were paying the price for wanting it all. They'd squandered their chances to team up and share. Would their nutty young hopes simply end in despair? Crashing over the waterfall. Bruised and bedraggled, they swept past dry land. Cyril grabbed at a branch with a trembling hand. Catching Bruce with the other, he heaved and he huffed and dragged him to safety with panting and puffs. They stared at the sky, quite lost in deep thought, until Bruce looked at Cyril and let out a snort. "How silly we are," he proclaimed, all a jiggle. "How greedy I've been," spluttered Bruce with a giggle. "We shall change from today. May the squabbling cease. We should celebrate, seeing we're both in one piece." From that day and forward, they made a great pair. They would gather together and found they could share. Yes, Cyril and Bruce, they knew in the end. The best thing to share is a laugh with your friend.
Have
Nice.
you got the koala stupid?
Ooh, yes. Don't know where it is, but we definitely got it. Like it's yes, when he gets stuck up a tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We must have it. I've definitely read it.
Me too.
We didn't get it from the library, so it's definitely got it somewhere. Right, as we said, we had lovely pictures in this one, Chris Riddell, and we had a lovely story about a little bit of winter. But they're all lovely, these ones. Right, the birthday presents. Rabbit and Hedgehog don't know when each other's birthdays are, so they decide to celebrate tomorrow, just in case. It's a little prequel to the story. Hedgehog, said Rabbit, when's your birthday? I don't know, said Hedgehog. Rabbit sighed. Neither do I, he said. If I don't know when my birthday is, said Hedgehog, how could you? I mean, said Rabbit, I don't know when my birthday is. Ah, said Hedgehog. As the sun sank behind the trees, Hedgehog and Rabbit thought sadly of all the birthdays they would never have. I have an idea, said Hedgehog. Let's celebrate our birthdays tomorrow. But they might not be tomorrow, said Rabbit. But they might be, said Hedgehog. It will be a shame to miss them if they are. You're right, said Rabbit. It is a good idea. We will wish each other happy birthday. We will give each other presents, said Hedgehog. Presents, yawned Rabbit. Birthday presents, said Hedgehog. That's what birthdays are for. Later, as Hedgehog snuffled for slugs beneath the plump silver moon, he wondered what present to give his friend. Hedgehog thought about the under the earth where Rabbit was fast asleep. How silent and gloomy and damp it must be. How dark. An empty bottle glinted down by the lake. Hedgehog looked at the bottle. Hedgehog looked at the moon on the water. That's it, he cried. Hedgehog filled the bottle with the bright water. A bottle of moonlight shall be my present, he said. Then he wrapped it and went to bed. Rabbit woke early, too excited to stay asleep. What present should I give to Hedgehog, he wondered. Rabbit thought of his friend sleeping in the wide open up there. How frightening and noisy it must be, how bright! In the corner of his burrow, he spied his useful tin. The very thing, he cried. Rabbit filled the tin with warm, snuggly darkness and patted it down with his paw. A box of coziness, he said. He pressed the lid into place and wrapped it all up with straw. Hedgehog will love my present. Evening came and the two friends met. Rabbit, said Hedgehog, happy birthday. Hedgehog, said Rabbit, happy birthday to you. Here's a present for you, said Hedgehog. Rabbit tore off the wrapping leaf. It's a bottle of moonlight, said Hedgehog, so that you'll no longer be afraid of the very, very dark in your burrow. But I'm not, Rabbit stopped. Thank you, he said. It's a wonderful present. And here's your present, said Rabbit. Hedgehog tore off the wrapping straw. It's a box of coziness, said Rabbit, so that you'll no longer be disturbed by the bright, noisy day. But I'm not... Hedgehog stopped. It's just what I've always wanted, he said. In the middle of the dark night, Rabbit woke and looked at his present. Dear Hedgehog, he said. A bottle of moonlight, indeed. He took out the stopper and drank the water inside. I can fill it with water every day, said Rabbit. Then I'll never be thirsty in the night again. At the end of the long rustling night, Hedgehog noticed his present. Dear Rabbit, he said sleepily. A box of coziness, indeed. Hedgehog opened the lid and looked inside. It's a slug catcher, he said. I'll never be hungry if I wake up in the day again. That evening, Hedgehog found Rabbit down by the lake. "Do you like your bottle of light?" he said. "Yes," said Rabbit. "It's the best present I've ever had." "Do you like your box of coziness?" "Yes," said Hedgehog. "It's the best present I've ever had." And together the two friends watched the sun turn from orange to red. "Hedgehog," said Rabbit, rubbing his eyes, "when shall we have another birthday?" "Soon," said Hedgehog. "Very soon." I think that's the end, isn't it? Yeah. So we'll maybe have that one next week. Yeah. I like the rabbit and hedgehog stories. Okay, that's us done for the day. So what have we got today? We've got a roast dinner today.
Yeah.
And then we've got family quiz. Family quiz. That's at 2:30. Then we're going to go for a walk. I hope it stops being quite so blowy, but we're going to go for a walk somewhere around here. Don't know quite where, but we're going to go for a walk somewhere. And maybe we're going to do some painting later on.
Yep.
And then, do you want to watch the other Cody Banks film?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll finish that. Cool. In which case, we will say TTFN. Hope everybody has a lovely Sunday. And we'll be back tomorrow for chapter 11, I guess, of The Wishing Chair. That's with me and Emily. But it's a bye-bye from me. Let's have a bye-bye from you. I'll flip it round so we can say bye from you. Okay.
Bye.
And just check that the heron's not over there or anything like that. No, just a couple of pigeons around. You can hear lots of kind of bird song or whatever. So we will say TTFN and we'll be back tomorrow. Have a great Sunday. Bye.